The Trail of Tears by Harry Wyndorf. In 1838 and 1839, as part of Andrew Jackson's Indian removal policy, the Cherokee Nation was forced to give up its land east of the Mississippi and to migrate to an area in present-day Oklahoma. The Cherokee people called this the Trail of Tears because of its devastating events. The migrants faced hunger, disease, exhaustion, and forced marching. Over 4,000 of the 15,000 Cherokees died on this tragic event, and our government did nothing to stop it. In fact, Andrew Jackson argued with Congress and eventually overrid them, causing the Cherokees to have to move west of the Mississippi to present-day Oklahoma. In February of 1838, 15,665 people of the Cherokee Nation memorialized Congress protesting the Treaty of New Akola. In March, outraged American citizens throughout the country memorialized Congress on behalf of the Cherokees. 1 month later, in April, Congress tables memorials protesting Cherokee removal, and federal troops are ordered to prepare for Roundup. In May, Cherokee Roundup begins on the 23rd. Southeast suffers the worst drought in recorded history, and Sally escapes Roundup and returns to North Carolina. In June, the first group of Cherokees driven west under federal guard, further removal aborted because of the drought in the quote-unquote sickly season. In July, over 13,000 Cherokees imprisoned in military stockades are awaiting break in drought. Approximately 1,500 die in confinement. In August, in Akawee Stockade, Cherokee chiefs meet in council, reaffirming the sovereignty of the Cherokee Nation, and John Ross becomes superintendent of the removal. In September, the drought breaks and the Cherokee prepares to embark on the forced exodus to Indian Territory in present-day Oklahoma. Ross wins the additional funds for food, clothing, and other necessities. In October, for most Cherokees, the Trail of Tears begins. In November, 3 contingents of Cherokee cross Tennessee, Kentucky, and Illinois. First groups reach the Mississippi River, where the crossing is held up by river ice flows. In December, contingent led by Chief Jesse Bushyhead camps near present-day Trail of Tears Park. John Ross leaves Cherokee homeland with the last group, carrying records and laws of the Cherokee Nation. 5,000 Cherokees trapped east of the Mississippi were there, and many died. In January of 1839, almost a year after the beginning of the Trail of Tears, first overland contingents arrive at Fort Gibson. The Ross party of sick and infirm travels from Kentucky by riverboat. In February, Chief Ross's wife, Katai, dies near Little Rock, Arkansas on the 1st. March was a sad month. The last group, headed by Ross, reaches Oklahoma. More than 3,000 Cherokees died on the Trail of Tears, 1,600 in stockades, and about the same number en route. Over the course of the next travels, over 1,000 die in Oklahoma. That makes 4,000 out of 15,000 Cherokees die in this terrible event. In April, Cherokees start to settle. They build houses, clear land, plant crops. In May, Western Cherokees invite new arrivals to meet and establish United Cherokee Government. June, old treaty part leaders attempt to foil reunification negotiations between Ross and Sequoyah. Treaty Party leaders John Ridge, Major Ridge, and Elias Boondout are assassinated. In July, Cherokee Act of Union brings together Eastern and Western Cherokee nations on the 12th. In August, Stand Watai, brother of Boondoit, pledges revenge for the deaths of the party leaders. In September, the Cherokee Constitution is adopted on the 6th. Tacalay establishes as the capital of the Cherokee Nation. Here is an excerpt from a letter that John Ross wrote to the United States Congress expressing his dismay towards their actions. "We are overwhelmed. Our hearts are sickened. Our utterance is paralyzed. When we reflect on the condition in which we are placed by the audacious practices of unprincipled men, who have managed their stratagems with so much dexterity as to impose on the government of the United States, in the face of our earnest, solemn, and reiterated protestations." Thank you for watching this edition of Harry Wyndorf's History.